Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everyone! Hello, Wembley! Are you ready for some Christmas cheer? I said, are you ready for some Christmas cheer? Well, come on then! Let's celebrate!
Yeah.
Ho, 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 ho. Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas!
When someone brings a song, well, he just might like to know you put a great big smile upon somebody's face. When you jump into your bed, quickly cover up your head, and don't you lock the doors, you know the sweet Santa Claus is on his way. Well, I wish it could be Christmas every day, when the kids start singing and the band begins to play. Oh, I wish it could be Christmas every day. So let the bells ring out for Christmas. And the storm cloud paints it dark, then your rosy cheeks are gonna light my merry way. Now the frost tickles up here, and the frozen up my beard. So will I by the fire till the sleep is simply melted all away. Well, I wish it could be Christmas every day, when the kids start singing and the band begins to play. Oh, I wish it could be Christmas every day. So let the bells
Hey, I just want to take a moment and say welcome to everybody here that's here for the Hillsong carols at the SSE Arena here in Wembley. Whether you're friends and family of people within the life of our church, or you've just found yourself here this evening, we just want to say, hey, welcome and glad you can be here with us. You know, this is Christmas, and it's a time of the year that has been set aside, especially in a Western sense, where we both celebrate and draw attention to what Christmas is all about. And what Christmas is all about is about God. It's about Him taking on human form and stepping into the world as we know it. Now, the as we know it is something like 2,000 years ago. But you know what? If you were to strip back everything about the world that we live in, if you were to strip back all of our advances when it comes to industrialization, if you were to strip back all of our advances when it comes to how good we are with technology, and you were just to keep stripping away things, you would realize that pretty much the world that we live in today is no different to the world that Jesus stepped into. And when you look at the life that He led, and when you look at the world that He stepped into, it was a world where there was political conflict. It was a world where there was all sorts of religious tension. There was all sorts of ethnic tension. There was all sorts of nationalistic polarization that was also happening all the way back then. There was the divide, whether it be financial or whether it be social divide between the haves and the have-nots. The world that Jesus stepped into was a world that didn't look too dissimilar to what the world that we look in and we look at today. And as we get into tonight, what tonight's all about, it's somewhat of a parody in the sense that there's a song that lots of people are familiar with, I should say, Silent Night, and which is a little bit like there was a night. It was a silent night, and as God stepped into the world, as He came in human form, the world just continued on and was partying on. Now, in that context, in the same way that Jesus was perhaps rejected way back then, it's pretty much the same light in which He was rejected here. And so we want to portray, as through this night, that this is all about God took on human form. He stepped into what we know as humanity, and the reality is He's still doing the same thing today, because the person of Jesus Christ is not a figment, is not a fact of history. He's not just a figure that people might draw their attention to. He's not a concept of God. The Bible clearly teaches us that He's God in whom He is. And so that's what Christmas is about. And what we want to do is we want to encourage you you can come, you can actually participate. So if you feel like standing, you can stand. If you feel like sitting, you can sit. If you feel like just observing, it's all up to you. But most important, what we want to do is believe that tonight you're just going to have a fantastic time and enjoy your time here at the carols. And just as a side note, all the people here, just as we go on, they're all a part of the team here, what we call our performing arts team at Hillsong Church here in London. So you're going to have a good one. So thanks for being here. Take care.
Endless, timeless, the heavens have witnessed all the ages of man. In a momentary twinkle are the whispers of eternity. The oldest story ever told is written in the stars. Long ago, before man had mapped the skies, he watched in awe and wonder, in expectation, for something was about to happen. Those who observe the dance of the Kingmaker, Jupiter to the humble, witness the greatest of sights. As the king of planets aligned with the king of stars, Regulus, a triple conjunction of such accuracy could only but ignite the skies. And curiously, there it lingered, long enough to be seen by all and to be followed. 3 times it passed the star, announcing to all creation a new king born. Not just any king, nor even a great king, but the King of Kings. Long ago, all saw his star, but few discerned its meaning.
Extraordinary. What is it? A wondrous sight. What? What? The king planet is conjoined with the king star. Oh, Brother Melchior, you all right? Oh, my. Oh, Balthazar! Balthazar! Extraordinary. Could it mean what we think it means?
Evening, gents.
No, don't!
What?
The king planet has conjoined with the king star.
Oh, yeah, that I saw that earlier.
But don't you know what that means?
Yeah, there's gonna be a new king born somewhere. Oh, what?
It's not just any king.
Yeah, triple conjunctions, yada yada, blah blah. What's it got to do with us?
We must find this new king. Yes.
Why,
We must go. Because we can interpret what no one else can. It has been ordained that we 3 alone can interpret these signs. Without us, there would be no one to welcome this extraordinary being into the world. This is our chance to gaze upon the face of God and pay him homage. Are you with me, brothers? I'm with you. Or you could just stay at home with your overbearing mother.
Casper! Get home this instant! You naughty little boy!
I'm in.
In those days, the king of Judea was Herod the Great. Intoxicated with power and cruelty shooting through his veins, this tyrant was poised to pounce on any who would threaten his toxic reign. And on this day, his closest advisor brought tidings of a new star in the heavens.
What do you mean, a new star?
I mean. I'm sorry, Your Majesty, but which bit don't you understand?
Which bit?
You know what a star is, right?
Of course I know what a star is. It's a little twinkle in the sky. But I thought that all the twinkles were created at the beginning of time. How is there a new twinkle?
Well, I don't know how come there's a new star, a twinkle, Your Majesty. I just wanted to report back to you that there is a new star, and it's quite bright.
How bright?
Bright enough for the people to be talking about it.
And what are the people saying of this new twinkle?
There have been talks, Your Majesty, that this new star may indicate the birth of a new king.
I'm going to have a son!
No. The Messiah will be king and will rule over everything. I'm not sure of the details, but there are 3 men in the East who might know more. Word is, they are analyzing the exact location of the birthplace of the Messiah as we speak. I suggest you speak to them.
I can't go.
I'm not saying you go find them in the East, Your Majesty. You can send some of your men for that, surely.
No. This news has got me all keyed up and I can't go.
Oh. You mean you can't tinkle because of the new twinkle?
Watch it, sunshine. I'm still king around here, and that's how it's going to stay. Now, you go and find these men in the East, and you bring them to me. And we'll find where this twinkle indicates the birthplace of this so-called Messiah, and we'll deal with him. Got it? Good. I don't have to remind you of what happens to you if you fail. Yeah. Yes. You there. You, yes, Gregory Porter, you, yes. Think of those ivories, yes? Maybe that'll help loosen things up around here. All right, show off. Come on, the rest of you, music! Music!
Balthazar, my brother, you're really joining me on this quest.
Of course, I would not let you down, or let down the new king if we are to understand yonder star correctly.
Is Casper not with you?
Yeah, he's just coming.
Really?
Well, I don't know how to pack for a trip like this, do I?
Light.
Well, we don't know where we're going. Who knows what the weather's going to be like?
Well, you can't take all that.
Well, what can I take? Can't I at least take a change of clothes? I'll be proper smelly by the time I meet this king fella.
Oh, hold on, you said you didn't believe. Anyway.
What? Is that true, Casper? You don't believe the sign the star foretells?
Well, you've got to admit it's all a bit far-fetched. I mean, just look at our plan. Follow a star. How can you follow a star? It's up!
Well, I think I can guarantee you won't be disappointed in our mode of transportation. Hey, brothers, before we depart, can I confirm that neither one of you have spoken of our intentions to anyone?
Oh, absolutely not. The plan has never passed my lips.
Casper?
Yes?
Have you spoken of our plan to anyone?
No.
Good. Then today will be a day that will live long in the memory of civilization. The first pilgrimage to the King of all peoples, and the beginning of a new world of peace and harmony.
And we're all gonna proper smell when we get there because we haven't packed appropriately. Just saying.
Open up by order of the King of Judea.
Casper, you sure you didn't tell our plan to anyone?
Well, I might have told my mum.
What? She's the biggest gossip in the known world.
Well, I had to tell her something. She worries sick if I'm not back by 10:30.
Open this door or we'll break it down.
Gentlemen, I suggest we get this quest started. Let's go!
Get them!
Go!
Come on, Casper!
Set!
Whoa! Balthazar! Ah! Come on!
Woo! You're just too slow, mate! Sayonara!
And so our three unlikely friends embarked on their quest. Where their journey would lead, they did not yet know. But they set out with hope in their hearts and wonder awakening. Over field and dale, over stream and sea, the world unfurled beneath them, and before them, destiny beckoned. And thus, our sages of old, these seekers of truth and mystery, went forth, risking it all on a star.
Joy to the world,
The twists and turns of the journey led our wise men of old along unimagined paths. New horizons breezed before them, and possibilities stretched to the skies. With each passing day, our travelers began to wonder if maybe they too had a part to play in this story unfolding. And their old hearts became young again, in the breathtaking beauty of it all.
Everybody sing joy, joy, joy.
before I go. Don't leave it hanging on sugar. Hello, I'm a tiger. What am I? I'm a tiger.
Yep, we're lost again. Melchior, where are you going?
Guys, I think it's this way.
Brothers, I think we're being followed.
Oh, don't be stupid, Casper. There's no one here.
Brothers, I really do think we're being followed.
Casper, you stop your noise. I've told you there's no one here but us.
A wondrous sight.
Wow, she's beautiful.
Well, go on then. Say hello.
I say, ahoy there, fair maiden. We come in peace.
Peekaboo.
One more.
Hello, my chubby friend.
Sorry, wrong address.
Welcome to paradise. Eh? Nice, isn't it? So, what brings you to our party island? Eh, Mr. Chops? Have you come to shake your booty? No? Oh, I sense some more serious quest. You are following the star?
Yes. What do you know about it? Please tell us.
I know that it's not an ordinary star. This star speaks of a king.
A king?
Yes, but not an ordinary king. A great king is to be born in the east.
Okay, Chief. How do we find this king?
You follow. And when you meet the great king, you give him this.
Oh, that's very nice.
But first, my friends, you stay for dinner. Come on. Where's my entertainment, eh? Come on, friends.
Is reconciled, joyful, all ye nations arise.
of righteousness, light and life to all he brings, risen with healing in his wings.
Hands up!
My healing is glory by, born that man no more may die, born to raise the sons of earth, born to give them second birth. How the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King. Hey! How the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King. How the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King. Hey, let's go. The newborn King.
Nyota mafe ngoma mara mbele.
The king's star dances twice.
A double conjunction.
Unatafuta umalfi.
The queen asks if you seek a king.
We do.
Lakini umpata moja. Yes! Unatafuta umalfi mkuu.
Malkia says, you do not seek any king. You seek a great king.
Mafalme bile kuwa kwa bile habari.
Kings will kill for such information.
Kwa makini sana ambao kumueleza.
Be careful who you tell.
Thank you.
When you meet the great king, give him this. Sasa kimbia.
Now you must run.
Of course. What?
Run!
The heavens blazed a message of magnitude, with the king star rising in the east, inviting 3 wise men of old on a quest. A quest of discovery, a quest of wonder, a quest of grand design. And so our sages set out, following the star. They trekked over deserts, crawled over plains, crossed over seas, and then crossed back again. They stepped over borders, stepped on angry snakes, stepped on each other's toes, and wondered if they'd escape. They traveled through the day and traveled through the night, but still they kept their eyes fixed on the star shining bright. Always headed onwards, in a roundabout kind of way, following the starlight of the King of eternal days. For many miles they would journey each day, from the breaking of dawn till darkness descended. And at last, our travel-worn dreamers arrived. But alas, once again, not where they intended.
Take the second right. Take the third left. Take the third right. Exit ahead. Exit left. Ahead. Exit right. Ahead. Ahead. Take the ferry. Ahead. Keep left. Keep right. Left turn ahead. Right turn ahead. U-turn ahead. Bear left. Bear right. Congestion charge.
What's a congestion charge?
No, just give me that thing. Casper, give me it.
Take it.
I mean, where did you get this thing from anyway?
I got it off the doctor.
The doctor? Doctor who?
Yeah, that's him. I mean, her.
Right then. Here we go.
Bear left. Bear right.
Yeah, it's not working.
Give me that. If you want a job done. The batteries are dead.
Genius. So what do we do now?
Brothers. Kebab?
Hang all the mistletoe. I'm gonna get to know you better this Christmas. And as we trim the tree, how much fun it's gonna be together. This Christmas, the fireside is blazing bright. We're caroling through the night. And this Christmas will be a very special Christmas for me. Caroline. Oh, this Christmas. And this Christmas will be a very special Christmas for me. Ba-da-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba. Shake your head, shake it. Ba-da-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba.
Brothers, we must find a way to continue this great quest.
But the doctor did say there's another way to power that thing.
Well, what is it?
It's a bit unusual.
What is it, Casper?
Oh, this is good chicken. Oh, gosh. It's
Yes!
Christmas cheer.
Christmas
cheer.
Yeah, the doctor said that will run on Christmas cheer.
Oh, yeah, well, that's just brilliant. You're not going to find much of that amongst this miserable lot, are you?
On the first day of Christmas, my true love sent to me a partridge in a pear tree.
On the second day of Christmas, my true love sent to me 2 turtle doves and a partridge in a pear tree.
On the third day of Christmas, my true love sent to me 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree.
On the 4th day of Christmas, my true love sent to me 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. On the 5th day of Christmas, my true love sent to me 5 gold rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree.
On the 6th day of Christmas, my true love sent to me 6 geese a-laying.
5 gold rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree.
So, is it working yet?
Well, let's check the cheerometer, shall we? Come on, Wembley! Oh, no, that's not good enough. Come on, Wembley! Give it some belly! Give it some welly from your belly! Everyone up, come on! Get yourself down, it's Christmas, up the gate!
On the 7th day of Christmas, my true love sent to me 7 swans a swimming, 6 geese a laying, 5 gold rings, 4 white birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree.
On the 8th day of Christmas, my true love sent to me 8 maids of milking, 7 swans a swimming, 6 geese a laying, 5 gold rings, 4 white birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree.
Day of Christmas, my true love sent to me 9 ladies dancing,
8 maids of milking, 7 swans a swimming, 6 geese a laying, 5 gold rings, 4 white birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves,
trumpets piping, 10 lords a leaping, 9 ladies dancing, 8 maids a milking, 7 swans a screaming, 6 geese a laying, 5 golden birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree.
Day of Christmas, my true love sent to me. 12 drummers, 11 puppets piping, 10 lords a leaping, 9 ladies dancing, 8 maids a milking, 7 swans a screaming, 6 geese a laying, 5 How long do we have to do this?
It is not a matter of time. It is about discovering that which is beyond time, of touching the presence of the eternal that exists in all time within us.
Yeah, I get that. But how much time will that take?
Still astonishing.
You see, we're on a quest and up against the clock.
Yeah, and we're being followed by some very, very bad men. So timing is of the essence?
The one you seek would understand me. He knows nothing of time. He existed at the beginning and is unchanged until the end. Why do you believe you have to travel to find him when he will come to you if you allow it?
No, I'm pretty sure we have to go to him.
What little faith you have in your king.
Oh, God. This king you're sending us is no ordinary king, is he? I can feel his presence drawing ever nearer. They've found us. We've got to get out of here.
Don't run. Let them find you. They'll take you exactly where you desire to go.
You can't listen to her. The woman sits around talking gibberish all day. They don't want to take us to where we want to go. They want to kill us.
I think she knows what she's talking about, Casper.
You can't possibly trust her. Look at what she's wearing.
Yeah, I'm staying.
Me too.
Really? Really? All right, then.
When you meet your king, give him this.
Ah, gift. Ooh. Ah. You better be right.
The stars are brightly shining. It is the night of our dear Savior's birth. Long lay the world in sin and ever pining till he appeared and the soul felt its worth. A thrill of hope, the weary world rejoices for yonder praise, a new and glorious morn. Fall on your knees. Oh, hear the angels' voices. Oh, night divine. When Christ was born, all night divine, oh holy night, when Christ was born. He taught us to love one another. His glorious love and His lost and His free. Chains He shall break, for the slave is our brother, and in His name all oppression shall cease. Sweet hymns of joy in grateful chorus raise we with all our hearts. We'll praise His holy name. Christ is the Lord. A great name above His power and glory evermore, evermore proclaim His power and His glory when Christ was born. Oh, night divine.
Well, I should never have listened to you.
I'm sorry, brothers. My folly has brought us to this.
Balthazar, what will happen to us?
Death. Most definitely. Well, the Mad King has summoned us here, which can only mean one thing. That he too is searching out the King of Kings.
But what do we know? I don't know nothing.
Hey, hold fast. Fate may still be in our hands. By its current rotation, judging by the Earth's axis, allowing for a 23.4 degrees. That puts the star's fixed position 5 miles due south.
South?
Bethlehem.
It's time.
Disappointment and danger had become part of their tale, and yet they could not give up now. Eternity whispered its welcome, and their hearts longed to behold this child, this King of Kings, the one for whom the heavens blazed, the one for whom the angels sing.
Easy. Hey, you! Mr. Big Bad Man. I thought we were meeting the king.
He'll be here. He's just indisposed.
Gentlemen, welcome to my palace. I hope you have been well looked after.
Charming accommodation, thank you.
Well, anyway, I'll come straight to the point, shall I? We're all really excited about this whole King of Kings thing, aren't we, lads? So we were hoping you could tell us where we may find him, so that I may likewise bow down and worship him. You do know where he is to be born, don't you? One of you can't keep a secret. That's how we found you in the first place. Ah, you!
Tell me the location
Stop it.
of the birthplace of the king.
Stop it! Sorry.
He speaks!
It's...
Yes.
It's...
No, Casper!
Yes, Casper!
North!
North?
Damascus!
Damascus?
Yes!
Oh, you little swine.
See? That wasn't so hard, was it, huh? You're free to go. You will go to Damascus. Search out this boy king. Do not stop until he is found. Return with him, alive. You're dead! Yes! Dead!
We must find him first.
Yes, dead!
When Herod saw that the wise men had tricked him, he was filled with rage. He sent soldiers to kill all the boys in and around Bethlehem who were 2 years old or under.
It's really quiet, isn't it? This has to be the place.
Well, then where is he? Is it possible that you were wrong?
Well, I suppose so. But I was certain.
What good is certainty when you're wrong?
Brothers. I wasn't supposed to know, okay? Brothers.
What?
Brothers, look!
And on that night, marked holiest of holies, divine words written were once more recounted. For unto us a child is born, to us a son is given, and the government will be on his shoulders. He will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. And of the greatness of his government and peace there will be no end. Those who had sought high and low for the boy king laid their gifts, paying tribute to the one who had come for all.
Oh,
And so they bow on bended knee as heaven throws its doors open wide and invites the travel-weary ones to come close and be welcomed in. And now at last they see, and now at last they behold their King.
The first Noel, the angels did say, was to certain poor shepherds in fields as they lay, in fields where they lay keeping their sheep on a cold winter's night that was so deep. Nowhere, 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 nowhere. Born is the King of Israel, and nowhere, 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 nowhere. Born is the King of Israel. Then I saw a star shining in the east, beyond the far and you gave a great light, and so it continued both day and night. Nowhere, 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 nowhere. Born is the King of Israel. Born is the King of Israel. Nowhere, 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 nowhere. Born is the King of Israel. You're the King of my heart, Lord.
Well done, Sarah. Hey, why don't you just take a seat just for a moment? And, at the start, I spoke about this is a time of the year where where it's been set that we celebrate and draw attention to what Christmas is all about, and that is Jesus Christ. And this scene here behind me depicts what represents to us what Christmas is about, and that is that God took on human form and he stepped into the world in which he created. And if you were to read through what is known in the Bible as the Gospels, which are the first 4 books in what is written as the New Testament. That if you were to follow through those first 4 books, you would see that there is an account of the life of Jesus Christ. And those that account is not this account, although it mentions it. It actually takes up something like about 3.5 years of his existence here on earth. And if you were to read and you were to go through and you were to look at this Jesus in the Gospels, you'd discover a number of things. And I guess firstly, just reinforcing that the frame in which you read it is this is God in human form. This is not just a figure of history. This is not just someone that might be declared as a prophet, but this is God in human form. So when we look at him in this context, or we look at him in this light, then what we see is we see God interacting with humanity. Now, I don't know how you see God, but for a lot of people, God is a distant concept. He's distant and indifferent. For some, seemingly uncaring, and some seem impossible to please. But if you were to look at God in human form in the person of Jesus, you'd see a different picture. You would see God as he interacts with people. And sometimes if you might ask the question, how would God treat me? How would he speak to me? Well, if you were to read through those accounts of his life, every time that you saw Jesus interacting with somebody, then that is how he would interact with you. How would he treat you? If it was you and him face to face right now, how would he treat you? How would you know how he would treat you? Then the best thing you can do is look at the life of Jesus and have a look at how he treated people. How would he deal with the personal challenges of life, our lives? How would he deal with my life? The best thing I can do is to have a look at the life of Jesus and have a look at the way that he interacted. How did he deal with the personal issues of my life? And I'll get a picture of how God would interact with me. Probably the next thing that you also notice if you go through and you read about the life of Jesus, there was many times where he would be what is known as he was teaching. In other words, he was talking about life. And most of the times when you read where he's talking about life, he pretty much takes the world in which he was in right then and turns things around. And there's one account, for example, I'll give you a couple of accounts. One account where he questioned the people that he was talking to, and he said, well, you've heard what the law says love your neighbor and hate your enemy. And in that day, the law, although that's not what it was, people had so tightened their personal circle of interaction with people, where they were just falling into, I guess, what is normal for all of us. It's actually easy to love people that are close to you, that if I can say, comply with your behavioral expectations. It's easy to love those that are close to you. And it's almost in this day and age, and the same as it was in Jesus' day, where it was okay to hate your enemy, where you could exact revenge on your enemy, and it was okay to hate somebody that was in opposition to you. Probably no different to the world in which we live in today. But then he took that and he said, but this is what I say to you. He says, this is what I say. I say, the law says, or the twist on the law says that you can love your enemies, that you can love your neighbor and hate your enemies. But what I say is for you to love your enemy. And in that, he completely confronted the ways that we interact with each other as human beings, because he introduced his love. He introduced the Jesus way of loving people, and that loving people is is a love that's loaded with the emotional tension of forgiveness to those that harm you. And he completely turned everything on its side, and he potentially stops within a person's life. He stops the cycle of revenge. He potentially has the ability, when people actually put their faith in him and believe what he's about, he potentially puts at rest the cycle of revenge that so much touches humanity. And you've just got to look back through human history. And all humanity's history is a reoccurring theme, a cycle of revenge that keeps outplaying itself over the generations and over the millennia. Then another thing that he also said, he said, here's a way that I want you to, his way, the Jesus way. He says, this is how I challenge you to interact with the people around you. And I want you to interact with the people around you the same way that that you would want them to interact with you. And in that simple thing, I want you to treat others how you'd like to be treated. Immediately he addressed in his day in the same way he can address in the age that we live in right now. He dealt with all of the rules of inclusion and exclusion. He dealt with the dignity challenges. He dealt with the equality issues. He immediately brought all of those things to a point where he basically said, he says, listen, the best way to deal with all of these things that separate everybody, every single person needs to feel dignity within themselves. Every single person needs to feel like they're included, and the best way you can make people feel like that is treat them the same way you'd like to be treated, because we all want to be treated with dignity. We all want to be treated with a spirit of inclusion. None of us want to be left out. None of us want to be rejected. And Jesus said, hey, I want you to treat people just like you would like to be treated. I guess another thing we can look at when you look at the life of Jesus, because this scene here is what Christmas is all about, but all we've got to do is add a couple of months to where we're at right now, and we come to Easter. And Easter is, in some ways, the conclusion of the life of Jesus, but it's the conclusion of the life of Jesus from an earthly perspective in human form that we can identify with, because the Bible tells us that he died on a cross, and that when he died on that cross, that God raised him from the dead. And what does that represent for us? Well, if we understand how religion works, well, religion works like this. Religion, there's a set of behavioral practices that you have to comply with. And if you comply with these behavioral practices how you're expected to, then you will earn favor from God. But see, that's what religion is based on. It's based on your behavior to seek approval from God. But see, what Jesus did, he did something for us. So all we have to do is put our faith in him and trust him that was good enough, and it's his behavior on our behalf that makes us right with God. And when we're right with God based on trusting that his behavior, in other words, he did something so that we can be right with God, not we do something so we can be right with God. The only thing we have to do is have faith in him and believe that be enough, and trust him that it be true. And the Bible tells us that every single one of us, when we do that, is considered right in the eyes of God. That's what Christmas is all about, is drawing our attention to these things. And I guess tonight, in this room here, there are many people. There are many people who, if I said to you, do you know Jesus in a personal way? See, because I use the term personal, because God is not a concept, right? He's not a higher power or higher force. He may have a higher power and he may be a higher force, but he's a personal God. He's a person. It's the person of God. It's the person of Jesus Christ. And when we talk about having a relationship with God, we're talking about having a relationship with God in the person, that a personal relationship with him. And I don't know how you came here tonight. You might be friends and family of someone that part of our church that invited you along to a Carol's night. But it would be remiss of me not to give people an opportunity to be able to walk out of here and say, you know what? I think I encountered Jesus in a personal way tonight. The Bible says that if you seek him with all your heart, you will find him. And seeking him just means to have a desire for. And so what I'd love to do is I'd love to pray a prayer with everybody that's here in this room tonight. And in the same way, as we started right at the start of the night, and I said, well, Christmas is about drawing attention to and celebrating the fact that God stepped into the world some 2,000 years ago. But you know what? He's still stepping into the world here today, because what he does is he just didn't come in the form of a human being. He steps into the lives of people that reach out to him. He steps into our very being, who we are. The Bible tells us that his spirit touches our spirit. And when that happens, the Bible tells us it brings us alive. And we know who we are, and we know what we're living for. And so I'd love to pray a prayer tonight and give you the opportunity, if you don't know him personally, to actually walk out here and say, I think I got introduced to Jesus in a personal way tonight. And I think I put my faith in what he did was enough to count me as right before him. And so if you'd like me to pray with you, this is what I want to do. I'm going to ask everybody in a moment just to close your eyes. And the reason I'm doing that is just to give everyone a sense of privacy. Just, hey, let's just tell you, it's you and the short bald guy on the stage having a conversation. We're talking about Jesus. And I'm asking you, would you like to have a personal relationship with him? What would your answer be? I believe most people's answer would be yes, because I think most people, the only reason they don't have a relationship with Jesus is they've never been given the opportunity to do that. And I want to give you that opportunity tonight. So can we all close our eyes? And I'm going to pray a prayer, and those who are believers, those who are followers of Jesus, I want to encourage you to pray with me, pray out loud, and encourage those that may be around you as they're reaching out in their own heart and seeking him with a desire to come to know him. So let's pray together. Say, Jesus, I acknowledge the who you are and the what you've done for me. I believe that you died on a cross for the forgiveness of my sins. And I believe that God raised you from the dead. And I ask you to come into my life, be my Lord, and be my God. Amen. Come on, why don't we all encourage those that made that decision. And you know, I just want to on top of that, and we'll come back to this in a moment, but I just want to take a moment and maybe pray over your life, that you're here. Maybe you are in a place where, you know, if you're to really look at life right now, there's a sense of, you might know Jesus, you may not have prayed that prayer. But there's a sense of, you know what, I feel a bit lost. You know, and sometimes you can be going through life and everything is just going fantastic, and you can hit these patches and you can hit these places where it's like, I just feel lost. I don't know what the next step is. You know, the amazing thing about having a relationship with Jesus, he guides us through life, the Bible tells us. Maybe there's a sense of that you're lonely, you're isolated. Maybe there's a sense of on the inside where you're just, you know what, I look at tomorrow and I'm not quite sure what tomorrow holds for me. But see, the Bible tells us that Jesus puts hope in our hearts. And hope helps us to be able to construct a tomorrow that is better than it is today. So no matter where you're at today, no matter what's going on, I believe that Jesus can construct within your life a sense of a tomorrow that is better than where you find yourself now. And so if you're in that situation, if you're like that, I want to pray with you. Then we've got a song that some of our team are doing. And I'm going to believe that you may have walked in here a little bit lost. You might have walked in here a little bit lonely. You might be walked in here and not being able to look at tomorrow and look at it with a smile on your face. I believe that the hope that Jesus is going to put in your heart tonight, because that's what Christmas is all about. He's the hope of the world. That he's going to put a hope inside of you that you look at your tomorrow and literally you'll be able to look at that future and you'll have something in your heart that says, you know what? Tomorrow, my future is better than where I find myself today. So, Father, I pray for every single person in this place. And I pray, Father, for those that have got that sense of lost at this time of the year. Maybe they've got that sense of loneliness at this time of year. Maybe they look at even their today and they look at their tomorrow and they can't see a better tomorrow. Father, I pray that you put hope within their hearts, hope within their spirit. And in this moment, they might encounter you in a very real and a very personal way. Amen.
I was lonely. That's the first line of my story. I didn't know love till you told me. No, I didn't know love till you showed me. I was all fine on the outside. Something wasn't right in my mind. And now I found light in the nighttime. And now I found love for a lifetime. Even in my doubt, I believe. Even when I'm down on my knees, I know it's alright. I know it's alright. There's hope in the skies. I just need to
Hey, come on, why don't we put our hands together one more time and just say well done to all of those people who are just on the platform just then, part of what we call our Amplified Arts Academy, and they range between the age of 13 and 18, and didn't they do an absolutely fantastic job? And so our Performing Arts Academy, people like Leah, who was obviously singing with them just then, Leah McFall, and we're professionals that within the life of our church take their time and they come and they input into young people who, if I put it like this, and that we wanted to try and give opportunity to people that's an opportunity that only privilege can afford. But we want to be able to give opportunity to people who can't afford the privilege. And so, so many of the professional performers in our church work with young kids, and I just think they did a fantastic job just then. And that song they wrote specifically for this, and that's a collaboration of all those kids and working with Leah and a few other people. And so they've recorded that. And you'll be receiving an email from us if you're registered, that where you'll be able to download that free of charge as a something from them. So it's yours. So can I just take a moment? Maybe you prayed with me when I was talking about coming to know Jesus in a personal way. Can I just draw attention to this? In my hand here, this is a Bible that I've got, and we'd love to give you a copy of this to take home. And the way you get that, as you leave, there'll be somebody standing at a door probably near you somewhere, standing there probably like this with one of these, or there'll be stands out in the foyer. All you need to do is go to them and say, hey, can I have a copy of that Bible? We'd love to give that to you. And you know what you do with it, you can just take it home. You can just put it on your coffee table at home, or you could read it. I'd probably err on reading it rather than looking at it, but it's at least it'll be sitting there as a reminder of the decision you made. And like every decision, there's always something that comes, and it's not a solo effort having a relationship with God. You need people around you. You need people around you who encourage you. You need people around you that can be there for you, support you, and other people who believe that what you believe, and that's what church is. And I don't know what you thought church might be, but literally church is just a whole lot of people who believe in Jesus and decided to follow him. And so I want to encourage you to get yourself into a church. I know a pretty good one. But there's lots of churches. Maybe you're from out of town. There's lots of churches all across London, and they don't all have to be the same. It's not church is not a one shoe size fits all. It's there's different styles, and as long as it's a church that's talking about Jesus, it's going to help you. So I want to encourage you to help you to find yourself in a church. Well, I hope you enjoyed tonight. I know this is the last one today of three, and the team, I thought, did an absolutely fantastic job. And so, come on, why don't you stand to your feet, and we're going to finish up. But what I'd like to do, just before we finish up, especially so when we get to come together as church at Hillsong Church, I always like to try and finish by praying for you, and so that's what I want to do. And so in a moment, I'm just going to say, come on, let's lift our hands. Now, immediately what you say is, oh no, it's one of those hand lifting things. Well, this is what I've noticed about hand lifting. I've been to a U2 concert, and I noticed there's a lot of hand lifting takes place. I've even been to a Rolling Stones concert, believe it or not, and amongst a whole lot of other things, there's a bit of hand lifting goes on as well. And even Robbie Williams, if I'm showing my age, I realize, but there's a lot of hand lifting goes on. Because, you know, hand lifting is not a religious thing, it's a human thing. And we could just be reaching out because we're singing a song, or we could be saying, hey, I'm reaching out to God. So when I say lift your hands, that's all I'm asking you to do. Just reach out to God. And I want to pray for you. I want to pray as you go into Christmas, you go into New Year, that you're going to see God's blessing. You're going to see God's favor in everything that is going on in your life. So can I pray for you? Come on, why don't we lift our hands towards heaven? Father, we thank you for everything tonight. We thank you for every single person that's here. Lord, I thank you, Lord, some people are in adverse situations and circumstance. Other people, life is just going well. Lord, wherever they fit within that range, Lord, I speak your blessing, speak your favor over their lives. In Jesus' name, amen. Hey, have a fantastic Christmas. Thanks for being here. And hey, have a great New Year as we step into it. Take care, hey.